Hey nerds, it's Sunday, December 1st, the 49th week of 2024, and I'm running down what's coming up this week, starting now. Welcome back to the Nerd Social. I'm Nathan. As always, if you want to jump ahead of the intro to see what's coming up on any day of this week, there are chapter links below. As a quick guide, depending on what you are most interested in, typically studios and production companies release DVD, Blu-ray, or video on demand VOD movies on Tuesdays, streaming movies on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and theatrical movies on Fridays. One quick note, since we are in the end of year holiday season, the Science and Tech Youth nonprofit I run will be doing fundraising starting on this Giving Tuesday, December 3rd, which will run until the end of the year. If you want to help us out, there is a link in the description below. All right, let's get started with today. The first, we have the next episode of Krapopolis is actually going to be on December 8th, and The Simpsons will be on the 8th as well. Tonight, we have a new episode of The Equalizer, episode 6 of season 5, The Fight for Life. McCall and Mel go undercover in a prison to find a woman who went missing on the day she was scheduled to be released. New episode of Lioness, episode 7 of season 2, The Devil Has Aces. Despite Joe's weakened state, the team is forced back to Iraq to make a point. Somebody Somewhere, episode 6 of season 3. As much as I like not feeling, Joel's emotional center is rocked after an unfortunate fender bender. Meanwhile, Sam's date with Iceland brings some of her deepest insecurities to the surface. Trisha perfects her pitch for Mitch. New episode of Dune Prophecy, Sisterhood Above All. This is episode 3 of season 1. Following the tragedy, young Tula worries about being accepted despite her family name, while a skeptical Valia struggles with the decision to take the vow of sisterhood. Colin has been doing reviews of this show. There is a link above to his playlist for those episodes. New episode of Landman on Paramount Plus. It's episode 4 of season 1, The Sting of Second Chances. After a rocky first impression, Rebecca comes to Tommy's defense. Cooper gets an unexpected call. A new show debuted tonight on MGM Plus at 9 p.m. called Earth Abides. When a plague of unexpected virulence sweeps the globe, the human race is all but wiped out. In the aftermath, as the great machine of civilization slowly and inexorably breaks down, only a few shattered survivors remain to struggle against the slide into extinction. The series is based on George R. Stewart's classic sci-fi novel of the same name. It stars Aaron Tveit, Jessica Francis Dukes, Alexander Ludwig Beckett Torton, Elise Levis, Hilary McCormick, Jenna Berman, Lou Dialovera, and Rodrigo Fernandez Stahl. One episode will be debuting tonight called Alone. The special on ABC, The Wonderful World of Disney Holiday Spectacular, hosted by Julian Hogue and Alfonso Ribeiro, returns for its 9th year with a sparkling spectacle of new music performances by Walt Disney World Resort in Florida, Disneyland Resort in California, and Aluni, a Disney resort and spa in Ko'olina, Hawaii. Narrated by Kristen Bell, who will share the tale of how the Disney parks kick off the most magical holiday ever, the Wonderful World Disney Spectacular. The Spectacular will be available the next day on Hulu. Performances include Ila Carvalho, John Legend, Stephen, Liz Gills, Max, Leslie Odom Jr., the Imani Melly Choir, Carly Pierce, Pentatonics, Nikki Nani Rose, and 17. Tomorrow Monday, we will have a new episode of Brilliant Minds 10, The First Responder. A baffling medical crisis lands on the doorstep of Bronx General, pushing Dr. Oliver Wolf and his team to their limits. This isn't just another case. This patient presents with a life-threatening illness that defies easy diagnosis, demanding Wolf's unique perspective shaped by his face blindness. The series finale of Superman and Lois, this is episode 10 of season 4. It went by so fast. The Kents fight with everything they have as Luthor makes his final move on Smallville. What We Do in the Shadows, episode 9 of season 6, come out and play. The vampires get blamed for a murder at a meeting of all the New York vampires and must find a way back to the safety of Staten Island. New episode of Get Millie Black, episode 2, Hibiscus, with Curtis in the hospital and Hibiscus recovering from the attack on the gully. Millie throws herself into her work. Initially suspicious of UK detective Luke Holborn, Millie is compelled to team up with him when Janet's case leads to a disturbing discovery. For the season premiere of Star Wars: The Skeleton Crew on Disney+, Adventure waits for no one, and that includes us. The brand new Star Wars story introduces a new crew of pirates in the era of the New Republic and 6 new characters. Jude, played by Jude Law, Wim, Fern, Neil, and SM3. Rollicking journey among stars. It also stars Kerry Corden and Tunde Adebimpe. They're gonna drop 2 episodes tomorrow. On Tuesday, High Potential is on hiatus until January 7th. However, there is a new episode of The Irrational, episode 7 of season 2, Stand By Me. Professor Alex Mercer, behavioral science expert extraordinaire, finds himself immersed in the often frenzied world of K-pop fandom when a superfan turns up dead. The twist? The prime suspect is none other than the idol the victim so obsessively adored. It is not exactly a standard case. New episode of St. Dennis Medical, a peanut and a caramel-filled miracle. This is episode 5 for season 1. A hidden candy bar dispute erupts between Ron and Bruce. Meanwhile, Alex faces the unenviable task of firing an incompetent employee. Matt seeks recognition after saving a patient. New episode of Night Court, The Whole Truth. This is episode 3 of season 3. Sanitation strike wreaks havoc on Manhattan, leaving the courthouse overwhelmed by garbage and chaos as Abby tries to keep order in the courtroom, resembling a landfill. Newly appointed prosecutor Julianne seizes the chance to teach Dan the ins and outs of profiting from municipal dysfunction. On Paramount Plus, we have a limited series as one, the Israeli-Palestinian pop music journey. This is a coming-of-age documentary series based on the lives of 6 young men, the world's first mixed Israeli-Palestinian pop group that came together to form the next global hit group. Have another limited series on Peacock called Girls Gone Wild, The Untold Story. Before the spread of social media and easy access to online porn, Joe Francis's multi-million-dollar Girls Gone Wild franchise, a series of tapes sold on late-night television that featured young spring breakers bearing their breasts for t-shirts and hats, had a shocking grip on popular culture. On Netflix, there's a special Fortune Filmster, Crushing It. Filmster humorously recounts her marital experiences, personal growth, and the comedic aspects of daily life, offering a relatable and entertaining perspective. We have a special on Amazon, Jack in Time for Christmas. Jack Whitehall races against time to get from the US to the UK for Christmas. His frantic 4-day journey involves various modes of transport and encounters with celebrity friends as he battles holiday chaos to reach home. On VOD, we have juror number 2. A juror in a murder trial realizes he may have caused the victim's death and must wrestle with the dilemma of whether to manipulate the jury to save himself or reveal the truth and turn himself in. This will be on Max on December 20th. I actually just got this recently for awards consideration, so I'm gonna watch it. I might actually post a review of it if it's any good. Shaun of the Dead is the remastered version. It's coming to VOD and 4K UHD on day and date. Remastered version of with never before seen bonus piece featuring Edgar Wright along with stars Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Hours of existing bonus will also be made available for the first time on participating digital platforms, including Apple TV Plus, Movies Anywhere, and Fandango at Home. Finally, on Tuesday, we have on VOD Weekend in Taipei. A former DEA agent and a former undercover operative revisit their romance during a fateful weekend in Taipei, unaware of the dangerous consequences of their past. On Wednesday, we have a new episode of Abbott Elementary. This is episode 7 of season 4, Winter Show. Barbara is fiercely dedicated to putting on Abbott Elementary first ever holiday show, faced a few challenges along the way, while Jacob's brother unexpectedly arrives earlier than anticipated, adding another layer of chaos to the festive preparations. New episode of Shrinking on Apple TV Plus, episode 9 of season 2, Full Grown Dude. While trying to stay out of Alice's business, Jimmy has to Jimmy and insecure Brian. Gabby leans on Paul for advice after her sister drops a bomb. Bad Sisters, episode 5 of season 2, Boom. In a bit to stay out of trouble, the sisters take the next step in their plan with Angelica, just as a desperate Ava puts a target on their backs. On Amazon Prime, we have the debut of Pop Culture Jeopardy. Going to drop 3 episodes, including the season premiere. High-stakes quiz show pitting teams against each other on a pop culture knowledge covering everything from music to movies. Contestants compete tournament style for prizes and bragging rights. Expertise across generations is key to winning. It's hosted by Colin Jost. On Netflix, we have a limited series, Churchill at War. This captivating docuseries examines Winston Churchill's pivotal role in World War II and the formative events that made him an ideal leader for the era. On Wednesday, we also have the 92nd annual Christmas in Rockefeller Center. The Rockefeller Center tree lighting will air on NBC and Peacock on December 4th at 8 p.m., featuring Kelly Clarkson as for another festive 2-hour special. Joining her will be the Backstreet Boys, Dan and Shay, Megan Hitley, Jennifer Hudson, Coco Jones, Little Big Town, Ray, Talia, and the Radio City Rockettes, bringing a mix of pop, country, and Broadway performances. At 10 p.m. the same night, we have Jimmy Fallon's Holiday Seasoning Spectacular. The holiday special features a star-studded lineup of guest appearances and performances from Jimmy Fallon's new holiday album, Meghan Trainor, Carrie Delevingne, Dolly Parton, J.B. Smoove, Jonas Brothers, Justin Timberlake, LL Cool J, The Roots, Weird Al Yankovic, and more. The special will conclude with a finale from the top of the Rockefeller Center with the Radio City Rockettes. We have a documentary on Netflix called The Only Girl in the Orchestra. This unsung hero story celebrates trailblazing musician Oren O'Brien and the double bass she plays. Finally, we have a Christmas movie called That Christmas on Netflix. It's an unforgettable Christmas for the townsfolk of Wellington-on-Sea when the worst snowstorm in history alters everyone's plans, including Santa's. On Thursday, we have a new episode of Found on January 16th. So we have Georgie and Mandy's first marriage coming back. This is episode 6 of season 1, A Regular Samaritan. Georgie joins a church to sell tires to the congregation, but Mandy worries there is more to it than that. Ghosts, episode 6 of season 4, A Primary Source. When Sam's book publisher requires source material for her biography on Isaac, she and Jay take a field trip to find a diary he claims he hid when he was alive. A new episode of Matlock, episode 7 of season 1, Belly of the Beast. Maddie partners with Julian to defend a young woman who is suing a pharmaceutical company after suffering severe side effects from a clinical trial, forcing them to delve deep into the company's practices to uncover the truth behind the experiment. At the company's holiday party, Olympia unexpectedly learns a secret about Julian's past. A new episode of Lower Decks. This is episode 8 of season 5, titled Upper Decks. Sorry, there's no description of this episode yet. However, we will drop a review of the last episode soon. We are already recorded and just have to finish up the edit. And hopefully we'll have a review up for this episode on Thursday because I've already seen it. New episode of The Day of the Jackal. This is episode 9 of season 1. With the release of River imminent, UDC believes himself safe on the Creation Island. With time running out, Jackal must use all his skills to reach his target. New episode of The Sex Lives of College Girls. This is episode 3. There's no description of this yet. If I can't get descriptions of this show consistently in the future, I might just cut it from the reviews going forward. We'll see, because I reached out to get screeners and they wouldn't provide me screeners either. New episodes of Second Chance Stage on Max on Thursday, a talent competition that offers contestants who have pushed their dreams aside a second chance. Like I said, 2 episodes will be dropping. Complete limited series will be dropping on Amazon. Glitter Greed, the Lisa Frank story. A nostalgic look at Lisa Frank Inc., the iconic 90s brand that defined girlhood, exploring its psychedelic illustrations and the company's hidden world. On Hulu, there's another limited series that will be dropping called Wild Crime. This is a 2020 special, Wild Crime 11 Skulls. This 4th installment of the ABC News Studio true crime franchise dives dives into the chilling case of serial killer Israel Keyes, known for his meticulous planning and cryptic motives. Keyes baffled law enforcement across the U.S. until his capture following the 2012 kidnapping of 18-year-old Samantha Koenig in Anchorage, Alaska. Despite appearing on security footage, Keyes evaded capture for a time, leading police on a dramatic pursuit. On Netflix, there is a complete series drop of the show Black Doves. A spy leading a double life faces exposure when her lover is murdered. In this thriller, starring Keira Knightley, Ben Winshaw, Sarah Lancashire, Andrew Koji, and more. If I can get screeners for this, watch it before Thursday, because both of those things that happen, I'll try to get a review out for this. Also on Thursday, we have the series premiere of Creature Commandos. 2 episodes will be dropping. This DC series, based on a comic book, is an animated comedy series that tracks a secret team of incarcerated monsters recruited for missions deemed too dangerous for humans. When all else fails, they're your last worst option. It stars Alan Tudyk, Kulortra, David Harbour, Frank Grillo, Indira Varma, Maria Bakalova, Sean Gunn, Steve Agri, Viola Davis, and Zoe Chow. On ABC, we have a special, the 2-hour season premiere of the Great Christmas Light Fight. 4 families compete each week to transform their homes for the holidays in the hopes of winning the $50,000 prize and the coveted Light Fight trophy. Have a Christmas movie on BET Plus, Brewster's Millions Christmas, follows Morgan Brewster's quest to inherit her uncle's fortune before Christmas. She discovers love, faith, and family's importance through giving. This can't possibly be as good as the original, and it seems like a Lifetime movie. But if you're interested, it's coming out on Thursday. Fly Me to the Moon is coming to Apple TV Plus, the movie. Marketing maven Kelly Jones wreaks havoc on NASA launch director Cole Davis's already difficult task. When the White House deems the mission too important to fail, the countdown truly begins. I actually reviewed this when it came out in theaters this summer. There is a review up there. It's a pretty good, okay, more fun than I thought it was going to be. All right, on Friday, there's a lot coming out here. I have 33 things to go through. So, a new episode of Before, episode of season 1, When We Dead Awaken. Eli stumbles upon photographs of a mysterious farmhouse, leading him to embark on a quest to find its location, uncovering unsettling connections to his past trauma and disturbing secrets surrounding Noah's condition. A new episode of Silo, the Harmonium. Juliet sets out on a dangerous quest to retrieve a suit so she can return home and save her silo. Mechanical plans a meeting with Judge Meadows. New episode of The Creep Tapes on AMC Plus and Shudder. This is episode 5 of season 1, called Brent. Brent is hired to film a man in a hotel room for $1,000. New episode of The Agency on Paramount Plus. This is episode 3 of season 1. Hawk from a handsaw. Henry questions Martin's thinking. Bosco is briefed on a top secret operation. Poppy makes a startling discovery. Martin confronts Sammy about why she's in London and finds a needle in a haystack before a heated session with Dr. Blake. On Hulu, we have the complete first season of Buddy's Holiday Recipe Rumble. Join Buddy Velastra on his festive mission to find the ultimate holiday family recipe. Each episode, 2 families will battle it out, showcasing their most delicious crowd-pleasing holiday dishes. Does your family have what it takes to slay the competition? On Hulu, we have the complete first season of Critical Incident. When a police officer pursues a teenage suspect on a busy train platform, a bystander is critically injured, and the lives of the pursued and the pursuer are thrown into turmoil. On Hulu, we have the complete first season of Paris Has Fallen. A protection officer and an MI6 operative team up after a terrorist attack. They suspect a mole as they race to thwart a larger conspiracy threatening Paris. On Amazon Prime, there is a complete limited series called The Sticky, dark comedy series based on the real-life 2012 Quebec maple syrup heist. The show stars Margot Martindale as Ruth Landry, a maple syrup farmer who turns to crime to save her business, alongside a Boston mobster, a French-Canadian security guard, forming an unlikely team to pull off a heist targeting Quebec's maple syrup reserve. Jamie Lee Curtis also has a notable guest role. We have a special on Netflix called A No-Nonsense Christmas with Sabrina Carpenter. Pop icon Carpenter jingles all the bells in her first ever variety music special. We have a movie on AMC Plus, Christmas Eve in Miller's Point. On Christmas Eve, a family gathers for what could be the last holiday in their ancestral home. As the night wears on and generational tensions arise, one of the teenagers sneaks out with her friends to claim the wintry suburb for her own. On Max, we have the debut of Beetlejuice. After a family tragedy, 3 generations of the Dietz family return home to Winter River. Still haunted by Beetlejuice, Lydia's life is turned upside down when her teenage daughter accidentally opens the portal to the afterlife. Our review for this movie is in the link above. On Netflix, we have a documentary, Biggest Heist Ever. Morgan, a hipster rapper otherwise known as Razzle Khan and Forbes contributor, and her husband, Lichtenstein, were arrested after being accused of conspiring to launder 120,000 Bitcoin. On Netflix, we have a movie called Mary. In this timeless coming-of-age story, Mary is shunned following an otherworldly conception and forced to flee when Herod's insatiable thirst for power ignites a murderous pursuit for the newborn. The woman in this image should probably be browner than she is, but if I start pointing out white-centric Christian propaganda, we'll probably be here all day, and we've been here long enough already. So, on Peacock, we had the premiere of the movie Speak No Evil, as a family is invited to spend a whole weekend in a lonely home in the countryside. But as the weekend progresses, they realize that a dark side lies within the family who invited them. We have another on the Paramount Plus called The Honey Trap, a true story of love, lies, and the FBI. A dramatic tale of espionage, propaganda, and romance following the infamous Berlin rapper Dennis Kosbert, aka Dusty Dog, and his journey from artist to MMA fighter to ISIS recruiter. When the FBI assigns a translator to monitor Kosbert, her quest to get close to him takes over her life. Through their complex relationship, the Honey Trap reveals the powers that shape our world and what happens to those who step into the crossfire. In theaters, in somewhat wide release, because I think the theaters will probably be dominated by Moana, Wicked, and Gladiator this weekend. We have the re-release of Interstellar from 2014. This is the 10-year anniversary. It'll be re-released on some IMAX screens this weekend. When Earth becomes uninhabitable in the future, a farmer and an ex-NASA pilot, Joseph Cooper, is tasked to pilot a spacecraft along with a team of researchers to find a new planet for humans. We have the movie Night Bitch. A woman pauses her career to be a stay-at-home mom, but soon her domesticity takes a surreal turn. This movie stars Amy Adams. The Order, a series of bank robberies and a car heist frightened communities in the Pacific Northwest. A lone FBI agent believes that the crimes were not the work of financially motivated criminals, but rather a group of dangerous domestic terrorists. This stars Jude Law, Nicholas Hoult, Jeremy Smollett, and Mark Maron. The Return. After 20 years, Odysseus finally returns to Ithaca, where he finds his wife held prisoner by suitors vying to be king and his son facing death at their hands. To win back his family and all he has lost, Odysseus must rediscover his strength. This stars Ralph Fiennes and Juliette Binoche. Odysseus was a bit of a dick though. Read the entire story. Anyway, werewolves. 2 scientists try to stop a mutation that turns people into werewolves after being touched by a supermoon the year before. Y2K, 2 high school nobodies make a decision to crash the latest major celebration before the new millennium on New Year's Eve, 1999. The night becomes ever crazier than they could have ever dreamed when the clock strikes midnight. In more limited release, we have Devil's Day. A heart specialist doubts his daughter's death after an exorcism, believing her heart still beats. Amid her 3-day funeral, he and a priest clash over the truth, each trying to prove their stance and potentially save her life. In theaters and on VOD, we have Dick Dynamite. In the dying days of World War II, Dick Dynamite and his ragtag team of Nazi-killing commandos must stop a group of depraved German scientists from turning the population of New York into flesh-eating zombies. We have The End. After decades alone, a wealthy family living in a salt mine encounter a stranger. I think this is a musical, actually. We have F, Marry, Kill, theaters and also VOD. A serial killer targets women on a dating app. A true crime junkie must figure out which of her 3 dates is a F-boy, marriage material, or is trying to kill her. Have a horror comedy, Getaway. A family's vacation to a remote getaway takes an unexpected turn when they discover the island they're on is inhabited by a serial killer. Have The Girl with the Needle. Copenhagen, 1919. A young worker finds herself unemployed and pregnant. She meets Dagmar, who runs an underground adoption agency. A strong connection grows, but her world shatters when she stumbles upon the shocking truth behind her work. Hard Truths, ongoing exploration of the contemporary world with a tragic comic study of human strengths and weaknesses. In theaters and VOD, we have The Invisible Raptor, an amusement park paleontologist and a hapless security guard team up to stop an invisible raptor from wreaking havoc on their small town. Obsessed with Light, film that tells the story of American performer Lois Fuller, a pioneer of dance, stage, lighting, and design. Oh Canada, Leonard Fife, one of 60,000 draft evaders and deserters who fled to Canada to avoid serving in Vietnam, shares all his secrets to his mythologized life. The 6888 is a Netflix film that will be Netflix on December 20th. 855 women join the war to fix the 3-year backlog of undelivered mail. Faced with the discrimination and a country devastated by war, they managed to sort more than 17 million pieces of mail ahead of time. Soju, when a cartel gunman is killed, he leaves behind his 4-year-old son. The shadow of violence surrounds Soju during each stage of his life. As he grows into a man, finds that fulfilling his father's destiny inescapable. Finally, on Friday, we have the re-release of the 1964 film The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. A young woman separated from her lover by war faces a life-altering decision. On Saturday, we have an episode of Invincible Fight Girl. Birdie, this is episode 7 of season 1. Annie battles Birdie and learns the truth about her motivations, while Craig and Mikey try to stop Rough and Tumble from destroying Rumbleweed. Finally, on Disney Plus, we have Inside the Enchanted Forests. Traverse the planet's richest, most diverse woodlands from the tropics to the poles and everywhere in between. Get to know the wild residents of these magical ecosystems and learn how forests connect and nurture the lives of countless species. So that's it for this week. If you want us to cover any of the productions we aren't covering already, comment below, and if we get enough requests, we'll try to work them into production schedule. And if you found this video useful, be sure to like and share and subscribe to make sure you don't miss our next update, our analysis, reviews, or news coverage. See you in the next one. Bye, guys.